Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe down below, give this video a like, and I just want to take a minute to stop right here and thank my subscribers. I know I've done shout outs in the past by either putting their name on the screen or saying their name, but I wanted to thank a few that have really been showing me some love here lately, and then some that have been there the whole time. So Sky Langley has literally been here since the beginning, and she's always liking, always commenting, not just on YouTube, actually mostly on Twitter, which is super nice because I really don't have any followers on there, so to see some of my supporters on there is super lovely. Also, Letty33, she is also mostly on Twitter, and I super appreciate all the likes and shares, and it's just super sweet. Also, Katie Mann, Little Makeup Channel, Miss Bennett, and Jennifer Metcalf. You need to go check out those channels because they make their own makeup channels, and they do their own makeup channels, and they're pretty great. Katie Mann is a traveling makeup artist, and she's in like a little camper traveling across the country, which is so awesome. Little Makeup Channel does reviews and you know, those type of things, makeup related, and so does Miss Bennett, and they're so wonderful and funny. Jennifer Metcalf does anything from makeup to mommy to home improvement, vlogs. She's basically like me, only like the paler version of me, maybe more interesting. I don't know. Either way, you should go check out those channels, and today we're just going to be doing a let's get ready with me, talk to me, I don't know what you want to call it. I just figured that'd be fun. I don't do very many of them because I know some people don't like them, but I watch Raw Christie do them all the time, and I'm like, those look so fun. I love to talk. Like, that's all I want to do is talk. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I don't get to spend a lot of time talking to people, and so, like, that's all I want to do. I just want to talk. So yesterday was Sunday, Memorial Day weekend, and we went to the park with my daughter and my family. Like, we met my family there, but we took my daughter. My son was with his grandma, and we took her swimming. My daughter loved it. She's such a water baby. Like, we have a little pool here that she swims at, but being able to go down a water slide and swim in like water deeper than she is and hang out with friends, she was just in heaven. I was like, yeah, I almost guarantee you by next year we'll have like a 15-foot or a 20-foot pool. Almost guarantee it. We basically double the size of our pool every year. So it'd probably be more of an investment to just go ahead and get the bigger pool and have it every year, instead of spending 100, 200, and just gradually building it up. We could just save that money and spend like the 500 or the 300 or the 400 that it is that one time. But we'll see. He's very frugal when it comes to stuff, which I understand, but sometimes it ends up biting us in the butt because we buy the cheaper stuff, and then we end up having to buy the more expensive stuff later, and it like doesn't help us out. We should have just like splurged in the first place. My daughter is supposed to be going with her grandmother to go swimming today. With it being so nice out, it's just hard to be like, no, stay inside. I love that she's such an outside kid. Because right now, if I take them both outside at the same time, she's wanting to run around and play, which is fine. She's big enough. 99% of the time, she's listening to me. You know, a lot of people don't agree with me, but I do spank my child, especially when, you know, it comes to her safety. If I'm telling her, you know, back up from the road or whatever, and she doesn't listen, and like I run after her, I'm going to spank her butt and be like, that is dangerous, you could get hurt. If something were to happen to you, blah blah blah. And I know some people are like, you don't do that, you don't use that kind of enforcement. And I'm like, well, that's your opinion. You can do that with your kid. But she listens really well. For a 2-year-old, she's above and beyond amazing. And she's maturing. I mean, granted, she still does a lot of stuff that drives me nuts. I was talking to one of my friends the other day. She's expecting. And I was like, oh my God, she drives me nuts. She knows she's doing something she's not supposed to, and she'll do it anyway. And just look at you with this attitude, and it kills me. And she's like, that sounds exactly like you. And I said, I was like, I know, that's why it kills me, because like, ugh. Like, Taylor, just do it and get it over with, and then you don't have to deal with it. I'm like, no, that's bullshit. And he'd be like, yeah, it might be, but, you know, just do it. I'm like, nah, that's dumb. I don't want to. And I feel like my daughter is the same way. Except, like, for her, I'm not having her, like, pick out my clothes or, like, make my bed, or, you know, I'm asking her to put her toys in her toy box, or... And the sass on her is, like, incredible. I see myself so much. I'm like, oh my God, you kill me. If you knew how we grew up, if you knew how I grew up as a kid, you would be so happy that all I'm asking you to do is clean up your own mess. Like, oh, you kill me. This kind of looks like what I did the other day. But it's okay, I just wanted to play in the glitter and see how it looks. This palette is super gorgeous, but I don't feel like there's enough transition colors. Like, I feel like I need to add, like, it needs something. This weekend was Memorial Day weekend, and my family, or my dad and his friends came up from Illinois, and they, he was doing their maternity pictures. By the way, if you are in Illinois, in like the Chicago/Elgin area, my dad does photography. Look up Dennis Hazelwood on Facebook or whatever and get in contact with him, because he's a really great photographer, and I think he does amazing work. If you're in the Madisonville area, and or if you're in Kentucky in the Madisonville area or surrounding areas like Hanson, or even Seabury, Manitou, Anton, Dawson, any of those areas, and you're looking for a photographer, I suggest Rose Colored Lens by Lindsay Stevens. She's really great. She works super well with kids. I had her do maternity pictures and newborn pictures, and she even did my birthing pictures, and she was super sweet. She stayed at the hospital with me for like 12 hours and took pictures of like me going through labor, you know, my husband playing with my daughter while I was in labor, my husband holding my hand when it got closer, just every little bit she took a picture of and made sure was, you know, a memory for me for later. And last time I was looking for somebody to do my birthing pictures. If you're from this area, then you know Lauren Burton, or Lauren Todd, whatever she goes by now. She does super amazing pictures, like incredible. But when I contacted her, she was like, it's gonna be like $250. I can only stay at the hospital for an hour, so you better call me like right before. Birth is so unpredictable, so it was so crazy to me that she was like, I can only be at the hospital for like an hour, so if the baby doesn't come by then, I'm leaving. You better like call me right before. And I was in Henderson, so she also wanted me to pay her extra for traveling, which I completely understand, but I was in Henderson, so not only would she only be able to be there for an hour, so I'd have to time that out perfectly, but I was all the way in Henderson, so I'd have to somehow call her ahead of time to have her come to the hospital to take pictures of me giving birth, but time it out perfectly that she was only there an hour. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is insane. That is insane. I don't know how that would work out. Like, she ended up not having time to come to my daughter's birth because I was at 2 centimeters for like a full 2 days, and I had talked to her 5 or 6 times before I had gone into labor. I was like, okay, I want to hire you for pictures, for birthing pictures. I want them done. So I have the money. I've already looked at your website. I have a tip in there for you and everything. And she was like, okay, well, these are the terms. And I'm like, oh, okay. So 2 days I went 2 centimeters. They popped my water, or broke my water to speed things up, and it went from like a 2 to a 4 in like 6 hours. So I was like, yeah, I'm a 4. And she's like, well, that's not close enough. If I come now, then I'll probably miss baby because I'll end up leaving before baby comes. I was like, okay. So like an hour or so later, they give me an epidural, and I'm still only at like 3 or 4 centimeters, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna take a nap then, I suppose, now that I can relax. You know, my epidural's in, I'm not feeling as tense. I take like literally a 20-minute nap, and I go from a 3/4 all the way to a 10 in like 10, or all the way in like 20-30 minutes. Oh, I was ready to go. I guess my muscles had relaxed enough to start dilating after I got the epidural because I was so tense before. But yeah, I dilated, and I was like, yeah, she's not gonna have time to get here now because I literally went from a 4 to a 10 in like 20 minutes. So she's like, yep, there's no way I can make it. I was like, great. So I had to have my mother-in-law take my pictures. Super embarrassing, by the way. Like, I know most women are like, oh, well, after I have a baby, I'm not like self-conscious about people. Like, I can have whoever in the room and it's not a big deal. Well, that's all fine and dandy for you, but I am. So my mother-in-law was in the room taking pictures of me, and the pictures turned out great. Like, there's nothing wrong with them, but yeah. rose-colored lens. I'm serious. She stayed at the hospital with me for like literally 12 hours from like 11 or 12 at night. She drove all the way from her house in Madisonville to Henderson, which, if y'all know, that's like 30-ish minutes away, to Henderson, and stayed 12 hours. Not only that, like, not only did she do that, but it was also the 4th of July. So she missed like half of the day with her family to spend at the hospital with me. Like, if that's not the sweetest thing ever, I don't know what is. So, I'm telling you, she catches all those special moments that you don't even think about. We got newborn pictures with her, and like, I'd have to stop to breastfeed, and you know, I figured she'd fix her lens or make sure she had, you know, certain things, maybe text her husband, whatever. You know, I don't expect the world out of people. She was doing her job just fine. But it was so sweet. She caught a few frames of me breastfeeding my son, and even had me stand up and pose for a couple of them while I was breastfeeding. And those are moments that I have forever now. Like, I never got those with my daughter, and her breastfeeding experience was much shorter than my son's. My son ended up breastfeeding for like 9 months, so, you know, I have plenty of memories from him. But it was so nice that she even thought of it. Like, if the other people who had done my daughter's newborn pictures had thought of that, I would so greatly appreciate it, because hers was so short-lived. Like, we tried forever and it just wasn't working out. She had a lip tie and we didn't know, so like, it just was not happening the way I wanted it to. But yeah, now that we've talked about that for 20 minutes, if you're in the Madisonville area, I highly suggest her. She's wonderful, works well with kids. You know, she was able to get my fussy 2-year-old into pictures, which is difficult. Sometimes my daughter wants to be the center of attention and be in all the pictures, and then other times she throws a fit and just wants to scream and not be a part of anything. And she managed to get like some of the best pictures, and she's super affordable too. Like, if you go with Lauren Burden, I don't even understand. Like, I know she's good, but some of her prices, like, ouch. I don't want to set Lindsay up for failure, but I swear the last couple of times that she's done our pictures, she's had them back within a week or two. And not only does she edit them all, but like, my son's theme was Harry Potter, and she added like little magical touches to make it more theatrical. So if you have a certain theme that you're doing, she will help you out with that. If you're in the Madisonville area, I highly suggest rose-colored lenses. If you're in the Chicago / Elgin / Rockford, Genoa, I'm trying to think of like any area like near there, St. Charles area, go check him out. He posts a lot on Instagram. He posts on Facebook. You can get plenty of examples of his work. He likes to do a lot of scenery too, so like, if you choose like a barn or out in the woods or something. He loves that. He loves to play around with the trees and the scenery around him. He's not afraid to get dirty. Like if you want one of those super cool trendy looks where like your reflection's coming out of a puddle or something, but the photographer has to like get in the water to do it, like lay down in a puddle, he will do it. He is not afraid to do what it takes to get that shot. So yeah, just my shout outs for the day. And of course, you know, if you don't want to use any of those people, you definitely don't have to. I'm just telling you my personal experience from it. Now, you know, I could be completely biased because he's my dad and he does, you know, mine for free because I am his child. But, you know, he also had a friend drive him all the way out to Kentucky this weekend to let me do her makeup, and he took their pictures here in Madisonville, which is super crazy to me because they're in Chicago. They could have done like anywhere. I mean, they have farms and fields and, you know, they definitely could have done a rustic feel there, even though everybody thinks that Chicago is like, or all of Illinois is this like huge city, and really the only city area in Illinois is Chicago. Like, you step outside of Chicago, like anywhere, you're just gonna hit like cornfields. I'm gonna try this blue. I don't know how I'm gonna like it. That's why we're just trying stuff out. I'm not doing a tutorial that way. If this look ends up ugly, then you're not like, why are you showing that to us? I don't know. I'm just playing. I'm gonna use this right here. It's an inner corner highlight. Boop, boop, boop. But I believe in supporting each other, and you know, these people have supported me, and I actually do watch their channels. I've actually sat down and taken the time to watch a lot, if not all of their videos. Katie only has like 7 videos on her channel, and all of them are really good. Her first one, she's kind of introducing herself and telling you a little bit about her, and literally that's where she tells you she's living in a camper driving across the country, and that is so amazing. Like, I always said my husband should become a truck driver so we can, my kids are still young, so we can ride with him. I feel like that would be awesome to just, he said it's not as fun as it sounds because you don't get time to stop and like visit. You have to like drive, which I mean, I understand, but even just getting to like go to a truck stop or something, or like, you know, you see a site and stop for 5 minutes, that'd be amazing. But he said it's not like that. Like, you don't get that type of time. Like, you really have to be on a clock and go. Also, if you're not new here, but you missed my last video and you're wondering why my hair is now bob, then I will leave a link in the description box, or a link somewhere. I don't know. I'll leave a link and you guys can check out my last video because I went a little crazy chopped off all my hair. But you know what? I actually love it. It feels so great. Like I said, I took my daughter to the park yesterday to go swimming, and we live in little podunk town, and like literally the pool is itty bitty, and they have like a laughable size awning for people to sit under. So I was sitting in the sun for a good 3.5-ish hours out of that 4 or 5 hours I was outside, at least. And I got a suntan. Like, I definitely got tan, at least on my shoulders. But my head did not sweat, not once. And if you're thinking, ew, that's disgusting, yes, it is. And with my long hair, usually my head would be drenched in sweat. Drenched. And it felt so good. And my head was completely dry. I was like sitting in the sun. I was like, honey, you're not going to believe this. You're probably not going to care either, but my head is completely dry. He was like, what? I was like, usually I would be drenched in sweat. My head is dry. It is dry. I didn't do anything special to my head. I just had less weight on it. It was so nice. Like, especially because I just took a shower. Like, to not have to go home feeling disgusting, like my hair being ugh right after a shower. Like, you know that you pick certain days to wash your hair, and if you get it nasty and sweaty, you want to wash it almost immediately after, even if you just washed it, because it's just so disgusting. I don't know where that Infallible lipstick went that I've been wearing, but for one, it is an absolutely gorgeous nude, but for two, also, like, this is probably the same exact color, and this is like my favorite. It's so comfortable. That one, I think, tops it. I bought it a while back, and I forgot I had it, honestly. It's been sitting in my car for so long, like, I just forgot I had it. And my husband cleaned out the car the other day, and he brought it in, and I've been using it, and I swear on everything, I've been eating greasy food, like all sorts of food, and it doesn't budge, not anywhere. What was I eating the other day? I don't know. It was super messy, and I could start to feel it to start to transfer. But it was more like a lipstick where, like, it was just kind of wearing off on things more than just, like, going everywhere on my face. Like, it still stayed where it was supposed to be, even though it was no longer matte. So, I'm super impressed. That L'Oreal Infallible lipstick is amazing. It's in like the squeezy tube. I don't even know if they still make that. Like I said, it's a little bit old, but oh my gosh, that formula is amazing. Highly recommend. Alright guys, this super long video is over. So, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Leave a comment down below telling me if you like this makeup look, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.